This is Show Up as a Leader, a show from People Forward Network, helping you maximize your positive impact on the world by becoming your best, fully authentic self.
Hey everyone, it's Rosie. I'm super excited to have my friend Chris Johnson bring her new series, The Leadership Pause, to the show. In this series, Chris is going to unpack what it means to be fully human and access the best of who we are as leaders. And each episode is going to include stories, what she refers to as nerd science, which just is music to my ears. And she will always give a deliberate practice that we can try on at the end and apply so that we can show up as more embodied learners and leaders in our life. Take a listen.
Energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. Thoughts and feelings are energy. Alan Seale, author of Transformational Presence and founder of the Center for Transformational Presence. We live in a time when giving of yourself to the point of exhaustion is often commended and, even worse, expected. Working hard, caring for others, and striving to achieve your goals doesn't have to be detrimental. That is, until these activities begin zapping your energy without you making efforts to protect and replenish it. Your energy may appear boundless to those around you, yet underneath the performative smiles and team player positivity, you might actually be utterly depleted. Is that true? The more you deny yourself time and space to recover, the more you likely are to overextend yourself and face mental and physical setbacks as a result. As Emily Leahy says, quote, "Burnout is sneaky because you don't realize you're borrowing from tomorrow to just get through today." I'm Dr. Chris Johnson, and one of the greatest self-care practices you can do, especially as a leader, is to protect your energy. Protecting your energy means pausing and choosing how you want to think and feel rather than letting outside forces dictate your thoughts and emotions. No matter how messy and uncertain the world may be, and surely it is, you can cultivate resilience by protecting your energy with intentional thoughts, choices, and then the actions that you take. And to do this, we must learn, all of us, to recognize energy drains in our body, where it starts, as well as in our mind. I call these energy leaks. It also means holding yourself accountable. For example, if you're in a team meeting and asked to take on another aspect of a project when you already feel inundated by your workload, you have the choice to agree or state that you're unable to do so at the time. It might be uncomfortable, but it might be the right thing. Because at all times you can ask yourself, and this is a great question, what action best protects my energy so I can operate fully and at my best? So, what's the cost of overriding your natural energetic flow? Well, let me tell you, this is a doozy. We can all get caught up in our busy lives and lose connection with our flow. We call it being out of the zone or we're out of sync, etc. But if we persist in overriding, ignoring, and actually tuning out what's going on around us because our attentions are drawn elsewhere, we'll run ourselves down, costing us access to our vital life energy. That includes our health, our focus, our relationships. Last week, I offered a free masterclass called Protect Your Energy, Essential Practices in a Demanding World. I created this masterclass because I hear these concerns all the time. Except when I was preparing, I came face to face with my own struggle on the very same front. Touché, universe. So as I was preparing the masterclass, listing out the 3 biggest energy drains I hear from people all the time, I had an obvious realization. The big project I'd been working on for the past few months, well, I'd fallen prey to each of the big energy drains too. However invisible it was to me at the moment, and however much I attempted to rationalize it as I was getting ready to share on the masterclass, the universe, has a way of, can sound like some version of, it had to be done, so I just took it on. I want the project to be successful, so I thought I'd just jump in and help a smidge. Plus, I don't want to let people down. I would feel really bad. I woke up early with a whole list in my mind of stuff to do, and on it goes. Not a fun realization I had, but a real one. Can you relate? Of course, there are times and situations when we are called to step up, stay the course, run the race until the very end. We've made commitments after all, right? Or we're caught up in unnamed expectations from somewhere, our mothers, the workplace, etc., without realizing it, and then we overcommit ourselves and drive ourselves nuts with worry and angst. Once the race is run, the deadline met, the treatment completed, or the project seen through, we tend to think we can take a break, maybe even deserve a break today, McDonald's, and renew our fluctuating energies. At least that's how we rationalize it to ourselves that way. However, if we're constantly living with back-to-back races, projects, and treatments with no time for renewal, we'll sputter out, spent. What leading business consultant and best-selling author Annie McGee and her colleagues call the grip of the sacrifice syndrome. This syndrome arises from the power stress that's created by a combination of high responsibility and constant self-monitoring that we do while we're all addressing the myriad of crises in day-to-day leadership. This can leave even the hardiest amongst us physically, mentally, and emotionally drained. So it's because you care. Fueled by roused and passionate emotions, concern, interest, resentment, even fear that involve helping and serving, the sacrifices actually can seem worth it. Putting others first, the team, the project, the community, without taking time for self-renewal, inevitably will take a toll on you, depleting your energy. You find yourself trying to give more while having less to give. The sacrifice syndrome in full swing. This is what I realized I had done. The result? Self-confidence dips while momentary lapses in judgment and decision-making strain and tax our energies. The impact of this cycle can become vicious, and it can also infect others too. You know, energy is contagious, right? Resulting in energy drain and strained relationships. Dissonance then becomes our default reaction. Yikes! The antidote? To be fully engaged in the present moment. Confronted by myself, I had to pause, feel my feet, and breathe. In catching myself being myself, this goes all the way back to one of the early podcast episodes in this series, it's only then, catching myself being myself, only then can clarity come. Yes, I knew my project was time-bound, but by realizing the clarity that I was doing this to myself, it helped me renew my energy and prioritize my next steps. That said, it's easy to get caught up in our day-to-day lives, even when we know better. It's important to know just where we're leaking out energy. It's commonplace, by the way, but important to remember. And also to know what energizes us. That is, what resources we can tap into to replenish our own internal reserves. The 3 energy leaks that I hear about the most, particularly from leaders, and the first one I got caught up in this most recent project, are these. Number 1, the energy drain, overcommitment. You're always saying yes to your boss, your mother, your kids, friends, to requests, favors, meetings, etc. You name it. So the energy move, after you caught yourself doing this, is to say yes to yourself first. What do I want? What's most important in this endeavor? What do I need? Telling someone no every once in a while, you can feel your own sense of power, and you'll gain a whole new sense of your ability to take care of yourself when you actually say no. Number 2, other people's expectations. While it is true that I had expectations for myself on this big project, I also really was concerned about everybody else's expectations. Are you living someone else's dream for you? Are you putting out energy but starving yourself emotionally so that the other person gets all the satisfaction and you're exhausted? So the energy move for this one is to declare your independence. You actually bought in so you can set yourself free. I bought into this big project. In fact, I was a key proponent of it. But I could set myself free from overmuch. I could declare independence, and no confrontation was needed. Just that, I don't have to expect that of myself. And of course, in situations like this, the worst case scenario is that someone who's not you will be disappointed. You'll feel great. They may not feel great, and probably no one will die in the process. The third energy drain, you won't be surprised, is worry. When we worry, we're thinking of how to deal with things, but actually we're just suffering and we're contributing to it and creating it in spades. Worry never comes up with good ideas. It torments and exhausts us. So worry also lives in the body. So the best energy move for worry is to get up and out and into action. Not compulsively driven reactive action, but intentional, I'm going to get up and move, go take a walk, etc. So doing one thing that brings us closer to coping, even if that's in the middle of the night, you can get up and move and write down your concerns on a to-do list to be dealt with tomorrow. While my big project was temporary, the process of prepping to teach this masterclass, how ironic is that, brought me up short and reminded me that energy renewal, including mine, is essential. So how about you? What's the cost to your energy flow today? Remember, I promised always to share practice, so here it is. As you take on this practice this month, remember to pause and feel into your breath and to all your sensations for 3 cycles of inhalation and exhalation. Then, drawing on your practice of catching yourself being yourself, for this month, consider these 2 questions and be prepared to jot a few notes for yourself. First, reflect on your energy leaks. What drains you? How does that show up in your body? It could be a mood state like fear, anxiety, self-doubt, anger, disrespect, or being stuck, or anything else. It could also be a situation at home or at work. Is there something toxic there? Is there a relationship concern? It could also be a person you're reacting to and with whom you need to set some boundaries or have a conversation. Secondly, after you've completed this first question and reflection, zero in on all the ways that you can access restorative energy in your life today already, internal to yourself and external. This could be a simple walk, choosing daily to smile at strangers, getting a bit of time to yourself, meditating, enjoying a great conversation. Make note of how these experiences actually energize you, how your body feels, what mood you end up in, and make a note to keep these resources top of mind each day. My invitation to you is to take on this practice, be curious, learn, and apply that learning in your leadership and in your life. I'm interested to know what opens up for you as you take yourself on. And of course, as you can imagine, we're just scratching the surface here. In the show notes, you'll be able to locate me on my website, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you. There's tons more to this topic that I talk a lot about in my book, The Leadership Pause, that you can find over on Amazon or at your local best bookseller. And just this month, you can head on over to my website, q4-consulting.com/leadership advantage quiz to get a better feel for how your energy is showing up in your leadership and the advantage that can bring. So as we sign up today, remember, when we're attuned to the moment at hand, present to it, whatever it holds, we can make our best contributions. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is power.
I'm Rosie Ward, and this is Show Up as a Leader. To learn more, head over to peopleforwardnetwork.com and, of course, hit that follow button.